Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to return to Japan, as you may have guessed from the shirt that I've got on, a present from my girlfriend of course, and we have another present from her to review today. So for this one we're going to go to her home city of Osaka. We're going to Minoh Beer this time, and this one is one of their seasonal beers. This is the Osaru IPA, and it should be quite an interesting one. This is the very first of the seasonal beers that I've tried from Minoh. And from what I understand, this beer, they have a black IPA. These ones that have the monkeys on the labels, these are the ones that are the seasonal and special beers. They do have a black IPA, a yuzu IPA, and a few other things that they bring out in this series. So hopefully I can review a few more of those for you over the next little while. This is only my second review from Minoh Beer actually, so no doubt I will add more in the near future. But since this is a Japanese beer review, a big shout out of course to Casey and Eric at Sotogami Akihabeera. If you do have a particular interest in Japanese beer, make sure you check out their channel. They've got some really nice kind of well put together videos, and I'll put the link to them in the description below. And also a shout out to Koji at liquor store Asahiya in Taishibashi, Maichi, Osaka. This is where Michiko picks up the beers, and Koji does speak English, so you can go in and visit him, but he actually keeps the beers for me until I go to Japan or Michiko comes here. So a big thank you to him for making this review possible. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other Minoh reviews I've done before. As I said, no doubt there will be more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one for Japanese beer that you can check out, and as always please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries you guys would like to see me review, especially if you're watching over in Japan. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Minoh Beer then, so just a little bit about Minoh first of all. So Minoh is a city within Osaka Prefecture. It's about 15 kilometers to the north of the centre of Osaka City, and this area is really well known for the Meiji no Mori Minoh Quasi National Park, one of the oldest in Japan actually, and also the Katsuoji Buddhist Temple, which is over 1200 years old. And the monkey symbol often used by the brewery is a reference to the monkey population that live in this national park. But the Minoh Brewery was established in 1996, and it's owned by the Oshita family, who'd run an alcohol store for about 30 years before they opened the brewery. And apparently the family just went for dinner one night, and on the way home Papa Oshita pointed to a building and said that they would be brewing beer in there soon, and he had in fact bought a brew kit from New Zealand and rented out this building. So the brewery is now run by the family's three daughters, and it was founded by Kaori and Mayuko, and the younger sister, whose name I couldn't find when I was researching the brewery actually. She has since joined her older sisters, but Kaori is the eldest sister and she's the head brewer, and she trained initially at a brewery in Kobe before going to the National Research Institute of Brewing, the RNIB, in East Hiroshima. And Kaori says that she actually learned a lot on the job, and she's constantly tweaking her recipes, and she also credits Nakanishi of Izakadoya as a great mentor. That's another really good Japanese craft brewery actually. But the brewery really had an uphill struggle when they started, because many of the G-Biru breweries were going out of business in the late 1990s, and public opinion of G-beer or craft beer in Japan really wasn't great. But now Minoh have gone on to be one of the most decorated craft breweries in Japan, and interestingly as well, the brewery also run the Beer Belly pubs in Osaka. They do run them in collaboration with somebody else if I'm not mistaken, but if you find yourself in Osaka and you want to try some local beers, go to the Beer Belly pubs and you can try some of these beers from Minoh, just to the northwest of the main city of Osaka. But yeah, really nice brewery this one. The last beer I reviewed from these guys was their Imperial Stout, and that's great. The WIPA of course is a big beast of a beer as well, and they do have the special seasonal ones like this that they bring out every so often too. So yeah, if you want to try some local Osaka beer, Minoh Beer is definitely one that you want to go for. So just to list the other beers you can get from these guys, of course, they've got the Stout, the Weizen, the Pilsner, the Pale Ale, the Imperial Stout and the WIPA, and like I said, they've also got some one-off beers and seasonal beers as well. As I said, I think the seasonal beers tend to be the ones that use this monkey symbol, and the monkey symbol of course is one of the things that makes Minoh Beer quite recognisable. So yeah, that's enough about the brewery and things just now. Let me just bring up the camera and let you have a little closer look at the artwork before we open the beer up. There you can see there's the monkey. All of these seasonal beers incidentally just have different colours on them, and here you can see in the hiragana Osaru IPA. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but you can see the monkey as a little earring there, a little hop cone. It tells you a little bit in Japanese about the beer on the back, and you can see on the top there is the monkey on the bottle cap there too. So a really quite nicely presented beer. This one, 6% IPA, like I said. So we'll get it out and get on with the tasting then. Definitely looking forward to this one. So yeah, nice smoky opening on this, and we'll get it out and into the glass. In the bottle there was a few wee sediment particles visible in this beer. So we'll see how it turns out there. You can see on the bottom there's a wee bit just kind of around the kind of edges of the bottle there, but not too much actually. So yeah, as you can see, this beer is poured a really kind of bright golden yellow colour actually. It looks really quite nice, kind of as you'd expect from an IPA or a pale ale, of course. You can see the little tiny bits of particle, little bits of sediment particle just floating around in the beer, but fair to say this is a really bright golden yellow colour. If I put my fingers behind the glass there, you can see the beer does have some transparency to it, but really it's more opaque than anything else. There's a solid half finger of a frothy white head to this one, some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of that head there, but overall it looks really quite nice. So yeah, let's take a closer look at the aroma of this beer then. Oh, that's quite nice smelling. So the malt base to this one, as far as I can figure, is fairly simple. You know, there's a bit of bready character in there. You can smell maybe a little bit of a biscuity sweetness. But the hops, of course, with it being an IPA, the hops are the most interesting element. So yeah. Yeah, so with this one, you've got a nice kind of orangey, I think it's maybe an orangey citrus, maybe at the same time it's a little bit of a kind of lemon sherbety citrus coming out of this one. That's just kind of underpinning the beer, and to me that is kind of dominating the aroma actually. But you can pick up some of the other kind of tropical, you can pick up a little bit of tropical fruit from this beer as well. Not quite grapefruit, maybe more of a passion fruit coming out of this one. Maybe a little bit of a kind of peachy apricot thing, but to me it's more citrus than tropical, to be honest. It's just on the back side of the nose that you can start to pick up some of these tropical notes. There's definitely some floral character coming out of this beer, and some lighter kind of grassy notes from the hops as well. So it does smell really quite nice. So just, as I always say, just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck into it. That's always half the experience with craft beer. But really quite a nice smelling beer, this one. So take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma for yourself before you get stuck into this beer. For me, this is quite a citrusy IPA, this one. Kind of more of a lemon, sort of lemon sherbety character with some nice floral, grassy notes underneath. The malt base in it actually almost has a little bit of a wheaty character to it as well, mixing in with the citrus, so it's kind of interesting. But yeah, let's get stuck into this beer then and we'll see how we get on. So this one is the Osaru IPA from Minoh Beer in Minoh in Osaka, Japan. Thank you to Michiko, of course, for bringing this beer to me, and we'll get stuck in now. Slanja Kampai. That's pretty nice. Definitely different in feel from what I was expecting actually. But if you've tried, I have tasted the W IPA from these guys before, and they've got a certain kind of, Minoh definitely have a certain kind of malt base and things that they like, and they do like their hops to come across in a certain way. I always find their beers, their IPAs and stuff at least, to be really quite citrusy and kind of punchy in that regard, and you can certainly pick that up again in this beer. I quite like that actually. So the malt base again, as I was saying, is quite simple to this one. You've got a bready character that goes right across the middle of your palate. Maybe there's a little bit of a biscuity sweetness in there, but to me that malt base does actually feel as if it has some kind of wheat malt in it. It almost feels a little bit like a white IPA, this beer, to be honest. So just be aware of that if you try it. Rather than being a regular IPA, this one could well be a white IPA. This is nice though. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this again. I'd love to actually try it on tap, so maybe I need to go to the brewery's restaurant one time. Yeah, that's really quite nice, this one. So yeah, as I say, malt base is kind of simple. It's quite wheaty actually. It almost comes across as a wheat beer, this IPA. So around the sides of your palate on this one, you've got a nice kind of floral aromatic character just underpinning this beer. And it's almost even a little bit spicy, to be honest with you. But as you go round the front curve of the palate, the beer is distinctively lighter. It's almost a bit more grassy around the front curve of the tongue. Yeah, fruity side of the beer is quite interesting too. If you just go behind that front curve of the tongue there, just pay attention and you'll feel that little oily bubble where these fruity esters come out, and for me it's distinctly quite strong and citrusy, this beer. Just pay attention to that. Yeah, you know, it's a big, there's a bit of orangey character in there, but for me it's really a sort of sharp, almost lemon sherbety character that I'm getting out of this one. There's maybe just a little bit of kind of piney, resinous character underpinning this beer, but to me it's kind of quite distinctively floral in this, and that big citrusy character that the beer has certainly kind of reinforces that. I do wonder if it's maybe Soriachi Ace they've used in here. The flavour of the flavour that's in this beer certainly reminds me of that hop. But yeah, there's maybe a little bit of tropical fruit in the back end of this. As the beer starts to mellow out a little bit, maybe there's a wee bit of a kind of passion fruity flavour coming out of this one. There's definitely not too much grapefruit, maybe just a teeny bit underpinning the beer. But as you start to move further on, there's maybe a little bit of passion fruit in there, maybe even a little bit of like mango or something. But really I find this beer to be really quite strong and an almost kind of lemon sherbety sort of citrusy character coming out of this one. Maybe even the sort of stronger flavour you get from tangerines, but definitely I think definitely a little bit of oily passion fruit as you move further on into the flavour of the beer. Then it just kind of levels out, and in the aftertaste it's really some of that floral aromaticity, a little bit of the kind of resinous character, and that sort of citrusy passion fruity character that's just lingering there in the beer. The malt base, of course, like I said, is quite simple and just bready and wheaty, this one, but it's a really quite nicely done beer, this. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. And as I say, I do wonder if there is some Soriachi Ace in this one, because the flavours do remind me of that, actually. That big punchy citrusy note, of course. But yeah, really quite nice beer, this one. So I guess if I'm correct, if you enjoy the Soriachi Ace hop, you certainly will enjoy this beer. But if you like a big kind of lemony citrus, kind of lemon sherbety flavour from your IPAs, this one certainly will hit the spot. This does remind me a little bit of the W IPA that I tried from these guys, which is almost like the big brother of this beer, actually, when you think about it. It's a bit stronger. But if you like that beer, you certainly will enjoy this one. But if you've never tried any of the Minoh beers, if you enjoy a big citrusy IPA and a little bit of that kind of wheaty malt base, this is one that is going to hit the spot for you. So yeah, in terms of the mouthfeel of this beer, it's mid-bodied. The carbonation is quite moderate. It's got a good bit of hoppy bitterness to it as well. As I said, it's quite a kind of sharp, lemony, citrusy character that kind of comes out of this beer. The malt base is quite smooth. There's a little bit of sweetness there. The floral aromatic and kind of piney resin beer gives you a little bit of a dry side to the beer, but around the front it's a little bit more juicy, and you've got a wee bit of juicy character from the fruits as well. But yeah, once again from Minoh Beer, they've produced a really quite nice beer. These guys, for the right reasons, are quite rightly so, are one of the best regarded craft breweries in Japan at the moment, and if you get the chance to try some of the beers, I highly recommend that you do. So yeah, until the next time, thank you for watching my beer reviews. This was the Osaru IPA from Minoh Beer in Minoh in Osaka, Japan. Thank you once again to Michiko for bringing this beer for me, and thank you to Koji, of course, for keeping it for me. But until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do check out my social media. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. If you do happen to have tried it yourself, make sure you give Casey and Eric at Sotogami Akihabeera your patronage if you're particularly interested in Japanese beer. But I'll catch you guys very soon with some more Japanese beer reviews. The Osaru IPA from Minoh Beer in Minoh, Osaka. A really lovely citrusy and floral IPA, this one. So do make sure you check it out if you get the chance. Slanger just now, Kampai.